Good morning. Hey. Hey, it's Sean from Traffic Services. Hey, that's Brandon on Traffic Services. We're Traffic Services and we're live. It is Monday. Happy Monday. It is the 21st of June, and we're going to be joined shortly by Sergeant Jason Kraft from Traffic Services. We're talking about a bunch of things, but Brandon, what are we starting with?
Well, we're starting with VZ. It's always the hot topic. I mean, I was going to start with your fancy new camera. Look at how perfect that is, folks. But let's
Am
talk
I
about
in focus? Yeah. It's an old
VZ.
camera being repurposed for a new yeah,
Yeah,
repurposed.
yeah. Okay, so VZ, folks. So if you're unfamiliar with VZ, Division Zero Enforcement Team, they operate all around the city, but Monday to Friday they pick a specific area, and today they're going to be in 13 Division as well as 51 Division. For folks who are unfamiliar with their divisions, they want to know where they might be. You can go to torontopolice.on.ca/division/map, and it will give you an interactive map. You can click into any of the divisions and find out if that's your home division. So if you know that you're in, this area right here, then you're probably in 51. So you click into 51, and then you can find out where you live and find out where the boundaries are. So the boundaries of 51, they go west all the way to Yonge or Dundas Square, north to Bloor Street or the Prince Edward Viaduct, east to the Don River and Lakeshore Boulevard East, and then south to the shoreline. And then those of you in 13 Division, your boundaries are west to the Canadian National Railway line, north to Lawrence Avenue East, east to Bathurst, and then south to the Canadian Pacific Railway as well. So again, Toronto Police /divisions, torontopolice.on.ca/divisions/map to figure out where you are and say hi to our officers today if you see one of them.
Yes, but if you don't want to see one of them, don't break any of the rules. For anyone who doesn't already know what Vision Zero Enforcement Team does, it's a dedicated group of officers that focus on the big four. That's speeding, aggressive driving, distracted driving, and impaired driving. So if you want to avoid meeting any of those fine officers, please follow the rules. Don't put anybody in jeopardy. The goal is to reduce serious injury and death on our roadways, and they are a focused group dedicated to doing just that. So, yes.
Speaking of
All right.
focus, I want to hear about Father's Day. How'd it go for
Father
you?
Father's Day was amazing. I got to spend time with my ladies. We went for breakfast. We did the patio thing. It was fantastic. I don't want to say it was all about me because it was all about us. We got to spend time together, and that's what was important. And because you did such a great job planning a weekend full of social media content and programming it, I didn't have to touch anything. I didn't have to touch a thing. It was great. For anyone watching, we have a chat room. You can ask questions live right here on any of the platforms. We are currently broadcasting live on Twitter, YouTube, and of course, Facebook. Facebook's a new deal. We just got that working last week, and this is the first time it's actually working properly. So we're really excited. If you're watching us there, please say hello. Even if it's just to say hello, you don't have to have a question, but we'd love to hear from you. We can leave that chat room up and see if anyone pops in. We're going to be joined very shortly by Sergeant Jason Kraft. We're going to be talking about last week's campaign. That was a safety campaign really targeting or focused on motorcycle safety and bicycle safety. It was called a two-wheel safety campaign. And hey, we got a hello. How's it going? Thank you for dropping dropping in and saying hello to us. That message came in from Twitter from Nunez. I got, but is it Ligero? I don't want to mispronounce names, but I'm going to try and not make errors. So something I wanted to talk about. Welcome to summer. It's officially summer.
It has come, yes. And folks might be surprised, but summertime, people think, oh, it's the easy life. Driving is not going to be a problem. Roads are clear. The sun's in the sky. Unfortunately, that's when the majority of the collisions happen, or a very large percentage of them, specifically July, August, even into September. That's the peak months. I think those 3 months account for something like 20% of all collisions citywide.
So what do you think that is?
Nationwide.
What would you guesstimate that being the reason for that kind of stat jump?
Oh, man, that's hard to say. I imagine a lot of it's going to come down to distracted, just because of the amount of distracted driving we're already seeing. And I think that it would probably be similar to how a lot of collisions happen close to home. You get a certain level of comfort, so you're kind of relaxed. You let your guard down a little bit, and then you make a silly mistake, and unfortunately, it leads to collisions. In wintertime, people are buttoned down. They are, they expect challenging circumstances.
I think you really hit the nail on the head. I think it's a level of comfort, assuming that dry roads means safe and that you can exceed the speed limit or you can go faster than normal and not have a problem because it's summertime. Everything's going to work right. But the truth is that there's still debris on the roads. There's still the same factors come into play. If you're going too fast, you're going to have difficult time stopping, and being comfortable or in believing that it's safer can set you up for failure. So one thing that I'm noticing now, and actually I notice it every year, is that there's still a large percentage of people who have not switched out of their winter tires. They've got their winter or snow tires still on their vehicles, and as a result, they are actually in a position that not only will that tire wear out very quickly and not function, but they're not the ideal tire for the weather. They're not designed for heat. First of all, anything over 10 degrees Celsius is really not ideal for those tires. They're better off for 10 degrees below,
Yeah,
or at least to be on a car when it's under 10 degrees above. But those tires aren't intended for wet roads. They're for
that's right.
snowy roads, and you will actually have increased stopping distance. So you will not stop as effectively if you have your winter or snow tires on. All season radials or specifically summer tires are what you want. So if you're one of the folks that still has their tires to be changed, we appreciate that that the pandemic has been a situation where folks have not been running to their mechanic to get things done. It really is important if you're going to be
Hmm.
driving to have the appropriate footwear on your vehicle. You wouldn't go out with winter boots right now. You don't want your car in them either. So
That's right.
uh,
And for those of you who drive on the highways, and a lot of our, obviously, if you're watching this and you're in the city, there's a lot of highway driving. The CAA actually did a study of people driving at about 100 kilometers per hour, which is pretty common for the highways, 90 for some highways in the city. And they found that those people who tried to stop in slightly inclement weather, so just a little bit of rain, it was a 26% difference in the amount of time and distance they needed to stop moving at those speeds. Now, if you're someone who's driving a little bit over that, you've got a bit comfortable, like we were just talking about, driving in the summer, that compounds even further, 30-40% more distance required to stop than otherwise if you're
wow.
driving with winter tires, right?
Yeah, 100%. That's some of the stats are staggering. I mean, it really goes. It really goes and blows people away when they see things on paper. But until it's on paper, nobody believes it. So,
Here's
uh,
another thing that I think people don't think about, and this happened to me actually with one of my earliest vehicles, one of my first vehicles. I bought it used. It was in relatively good condition, but then I sort of cheaped out on the tires. I went to a place that sold me like four tires for like $150. It doesn't really happen. Uh, I ran them through the winter into the next summer, and because of the actual level of heat, those tires aren't meant to have that level of heat. One of them actually blew up on me driving down the highway. So that's another factor to consider is that your tire can explode if it's the wrong tire for the wrong season. It's not
yeah,
meant for those temperatures.
there's all sorts of different tires, and there's different ratings for tires. Sports cars tend to have tires that are rated for higher speed. There's a lot that goes into it. So talking to a tire professional is probably not a bad idea, or if not a professional, at least a mechanic, someone who knows about vehicles. I certainly don't know what tire I want. I spoke to a lot, or I didn't know, and I spoke to a number of people. I spoke to people who are really into going up north and what they chose and what it was their preference. I spoke to a tire guy to get some advice, and there's a wide array of questions that come with before I got an answer. How much do you want to spend? What's your budget? What's important to you? What kind of driving do you do? It's not as simple as throw on a set of tires. There's really, apparently it's a science. So, be informed. Be informed. Oh, we got a couple of questions that have come in. Um, we have here, not my real name. Can you be charged for driving with improper tires? Uh, can you be charged for improper tire? Why is this not working? Oh, because I'm pressing on the wrong side. So I wanted to throw that up in the focus. Can you be charged with driving with an improper tire? Brandon, uh, that's a fantastic question from a now regular, not my real name person.
He's incognito.
He's incognito mode. That's good, and it's coming in from YouTube, by the way. So, improper tire, yes, for simply having the wrong tire on for the season. That's a good question. I don't think I'd lay a charge for not having. If the tire was functionally in good
Yeah,
repair,
yeah,
I don't think it would be an issue. But I mean, knowing it's not as safe, there's no specific law saying you have to have a particular brand or style. It just has to be functional and have a certain amount of tire tread.
Hmm.
Maybe there should be a charge. Now, certain provinces do. In Quebec, you have to have snow tires in the winter, but we don't have that rule here. But it may be coming. It's not a bad idea.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, I mean, like, if you get in a serious enough collision and you've reported to your insurance, yes, I'm going to have this or that tire for this or that season, and you're in a collision. I mean, that could get you in trouble. But in terms of
Yeah.
having the right season tire, there's no charge for that. There are charges related to tires, like Sean was saying, tread, for example. But
But you make a very good point about your insurance company. Some people, if not most people, want to get that discount. They want to pay as little as possible for
hmm
their insurance. I'm one of those people too, and I do run snow tires, and I do report that to my insurance company. Well, if you're in a collision and you don't have your snow tires on, you may have a difficult time getting a claim covered. But equally, I wonder what would happen when you've been in a collision and they found out you still have your snow tires in the summer. I wonder if that will increase or affect your insurance. That's not a question I can answer, but it is a question I have. So we're going to have to reach out to some insurance professionals and see maybe we can get them on the morning show.
yeah, that'd be
That
great.
yeah, I think we have a mission.
Speaking of morning shows, what's happening this Thursday, Sean? Because it's quite
Oh,
exciting.
hey, thanks for bringing it up. We are our TikTok, which I talk about ad nauseum, is what we do every day from 9 till 10 a.m. And if you are going to be tuning in on Thursday, we're going to be appearing, or at least we're going to cross the streams again, and we're going to be on the Jerry Agar Show on News Talk 1010, where we'll be broadcast over the air in Toronto, and they will be on our TikTok, and we'll be doing the regular Q&A, but we'll have Jerry Agar join us, and we'll have some chats about that. We'll be taking calls from those who call into the radio show, who text into the radio show, but of course our regulars on TikTok as well. So it's always a good time. This is going to be the third time we're appearing there, and we really enjoy it. So I hope you have a chance to tune in. Then we'll be on from 9 to 10 on TikTok, but at 9:35 we'll actually be live on Jerry's show.
Fantastic. And in the same vein, I'm sure we'll get plenty of summer related questions,
Mhm.
probably involving stunt driving and noise, for example. But on the topic of summer driving, and this isn't as much of an issue in the city, but I think it's still important to talk about how can we help folks to understand how to drive around the increased amount of wildlife you're going to see in the summertime, right? I mean, we're not going to see a deer necessarily. I mean, we might, but it's not as common as someone who's up north. But we'll see, say, raccoons or skunks or whatever crossing the highway. How can people prepare themselves better to drive safely in those situations without swerving?
Without swerving. Well, very often folks will choose to swerve to avoid hitting an animal, and while it is a wonderful thing to try and protect that animal, driving instructors will tell you the animal is gonna take the hit and should take the hit rather than a child, a pedestrian, or creating a collision. So
Yeah.
it's sad to say, if you're going to hit an animal, but don't cause a collision or take a life of a human being. To,
Or
to
hurt
save to
yourself,
save
right?
well, of course, we want to make sure that you go home safe, and yeah, you'll likely damage your vehicle, you'll unfortunately hurt an animal, but the option, if you have to choose, to me is very clear. But slow down if you are going to be in an area where you're unclear of whether or not something's going to pop out and get you, or be in your path. Slowing down is a great option. So yes, but if you have more to, what else would you suggest? I've got a couple of folks I got notified are watching us live. Our friend Melissa, who used to be part of our CIB, is watching. So hello, Melissa, we see you. And Dan is also watching. So hey, Dan, how you doing? They haven't set up they haven't said anything to us, but I saw them pop into the room, so I wanted to acknowledge them. Your microphone, you've gone mute. You've muted.
Yes, yes.
I was trying to read your lips, but I really I'm not adept at lip reading.
I took a course in miming this weekend, so I was just testing it out. Not very good.
Excellent.
Um, well, one more thing I wanted to mention about that: there are situations, unfortunately, where what can you do, right? If there's a flock of Canadian geese crossing the road, first of all, to protect the animal, and second, like it's a lot of damage to your vehicle.
Okay.
Might be more dangerous to go through in
I,
that
I,
situation.
I'm not suggesting you should steamroll the geese, but if you see animals crossing the road, you need to stop. You need to let them cross. Obviously, that is a situation that you can't just go. That's not an option. But if they jump out at you, and that's what I was referring to when I say, if an
Right, of
animal
course.
jumps out at you, very often the driver reacts in a way that puts everybody at risk. And the animal should have looked both ways. That sounds terrible, but it is a reality. I mean, I met a gentleman who was riding a motorcycle, and it was either a moose or a very large deer that he ended up driving through. That was not a good. He broke every bone in his body.
Wow.
But that was a situation. He was on a highway somewhere in the middle in the United States. 'Cause I met him in the States, and it was a bad day at the office for him. Obviously, driving through on a motorcycle isn't a good solution. But when you have the best option is going to be stopping if you can. But there's
Yep.
those situations where you simply can't.
Yeah, stop, put your four ways on, right? Like communicate to other drivers exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it. I wouldn't suggest getting in your vehicle and waving anyone down. Stay in your vehicle, keep your belt on, right? Be as safe
Yeah.
as you possibly can for yourself, of
You,
course.
you mentioned put a belt on. If you're stopping on now highway, we're not suggesting on a highway you're going to be coming to a stop for this. I really addressing the emergency or the unplanned event where something ahead of you jumps out.
Hmm.
If you're in a side street or if you're in a low speed area and a flock of a flock. I was going to say flock of seagulls, but if something is crossing the road, obviously, you're going slower. You can respond. You can slow down. You want to look far ahead. You want to have a good sight picture or look at the horizon. You want to be looking where you want to go and far enough ahead that you can plan a response. If you're staring at the front of your hood, it's going to be an unfortunate situation. But yeah, slamming on your brakes. That's going to cause a potential collision, especially if you're in traffic. So,
You know what that makes
highway
me?
and streets are very different. Sorry, go ahead.
We kind of got into this with Scott Marshall on our last episode. Those of you who watch regularly, you'll know. I'm wondering how that's going to be sort of calculated for automated vehicles, right? And that's already sort of occurring with those automated vehicles that are, not quite fully automated. I think that's level 4. But we have some now. So I'm wondering how that's going to be accounted for with those vehicles. Are they going to be aware enough to pick up something that small on a road? Like a goose isn't
It's a
very
good
big.
question.
Yeah,
Goose is pretty big, especially if
they're
they're
big,
chasing
but
you.
they're not like,
You don't want to mess with a goose.
they're not
Um,
Sean
y- y-
Shapiro big. You know what I mean?
yeah, no,
Every
no.
car is seeing that guy.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. It's such a new technology, and I've never asked an automated vehicle for a goose question. I have had the opportunity of driving a Tesla, using it in autopilot mode. It's really weird. I'm not ready for autopilot. It was an interesting experiment, but I don't want to do that on a daily basis. I like driving, but you know what? There's a lot of experiments. The city of Toronto. There's going to be some testing done for automated vehicles. Very exciting, and we'll have to talk about it as it goes. Get updates. I do want to change channels for a second and talk about a news release that came up. Let me just pull it up on screen. We had a news release that we're going to be sharing.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes, yes. So let me change this. Let me bring it up so it's actually full size. Can we do this? No, there, even better. Okay. So how do I get rid of this caption? Hey. Okay. So this weekend, there was an unfortunate fatality, Lakeshore Boulevard West and 42nd Street. So on Saturday, June 19th, 2021 at 10:19 p.m., police responded to a report of a collision involving a motorcycle and a motor vehicle in the area of Lakeshore Boulevard West and 42nd Street. It's reported that a 35-year-old man was driving a 2018 gray Kawasaki motorcycle eastbound on Lakeshore Boulevard West near 42nd Street at a high rate of speed. A driver of a BMW was traveling northbound on 42nd Street to westbound Lakeshore Boulevard West. The motorcycle collided with a BMW in the eastbound lanes of Lakeshore Boulevard West. The motorcycle rider suffered fatal injuries. Now, the investigation is ongoing, but we're asking if local residents, businesses, and drivers who may have had security or dash cam footage of the area or incident to please contact investigators. Now, you can contact us at 416-808-1900 or Crime Stoppers anonymously at 416-222-TIPS. There's also an online option of www.222tips.com or on our Facebook page. Now, you can even text message crimes which is 274-637. And they also have a Crime Stoppers app. So you've got some options. If you have information, it would be greatly appreciated if you'd share that with us, because we want to. Oh, my name changed. Why did my name change? So we're both Brandon, according to the software for a second there. Let me fix that. So yeah, we've got a bunch of things that are happening today. So you know what? Let me check. Let me see if we've got an update yet. We may have information from Scott Matthews if he's posted it yet, which we can then share, and that's in regards to the weekend's impaired driving stats. No, he hasn't posted them yet, so we'll come back later and post a video specific to that. We've got no audio from Brandon. You are muted again. You're doing the mime thing. Yeah. So later this morning we will have updates as to the weekend's impaired driving stats. We bring that to you every Monday from our friend Scott Matthews from our Criminal Investigations Office, our CIB, our Detective Office. I don't know what the best name is, but we're gonna. It is the CIB.
Sean, speaking of Scott, he did post something cool. He didn't post the impaired numbers yet, but he posted something pretty neat. I was wondering if you know about it, if you can talk about it. It was the Drager 5000 that tests for drug impairment on the roadside, which I thought was really cool. And I feel like it's a question that we get a lot. People asking, well, how do they test? What are the tests? And there are a myriad of tests, but this one is quite interesting.
So this is a swab, but you know what? The best person to speak to that is going to be Scott, or one of the DREs. We should have them
Right.
on, because
Yeah.
I don't want to give you the Coles notes and not give you the best information about it. So we'll have them on to do just that. So you know what though? Let's make a note of it. Let's make it happen. Let's book somebody. I wonder, maybe we can get one of them on tomorrow to discuss it. We can do a little bit in the lab. We have a lab, a breath support office. They've got a little laboratory. I like that word, laboratory. They have that here at Traffic Services, and we should maybe get a little tour and an explanation of the hardware. So I think that's a great idea.
I love it.
Okay. With that, thank you very much for tuning in. We've been on for about 22 minutes, and we are going to regroup and prepare for what? We're going to prepare for a day's worth of social media content, but most importantly, we're going to get ready for TikTok, because we're going to be on live from 9 a.m. till 10 a.m. answering your traffic and police questions. Brandon will be handling the chat room. I will be on the camera doing that. Oh, Sean Chen jumped in. He says, ooh. I don't know which the ooh is responding to, but thanks for dropping in, Sean. We haven't seen you since Friday, so it's awesome you're back. Yeah, and again, for everyone who's watching, thanks for tuning in. We're live Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock till 8:30, generally on now Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And of course, we'll be prepping to go live 9 to 10 o'clock on TikTok. So if you're not there, download the app and join us. Our username there is Traffic Services. Brandon, anything to add?
Well, if you want all the updated information, you want to stay apprised of the conversation, make sure you also follow us on on Twitter, where we make updates very regularly, news releases, campaign releases. We're also on Instagram, where you can see some of our prettier pictures. And if you have questions directly about traffic services, or you have information about maybe the news release earlier, you can also reach us at our email, traffic services at torontopolice@on.ca. We do check it regularly, daily,
Yes.
in fact. So
Regularly, daily. Awesome. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, and with that, we shall say goodbye. It's always a pleasure, but it is time to go. So until tomorrow, have a wonderful day. Stay safe, everybody.
Take care, guys.